Governor is now used as an institution to destabilize the opposition government. And now the BJP is perfecting that art. The text of the ordinance and the text of the bill were identical. That you approved A text, when it comes as a B text, you say no. Now, if you can give approval for the ordinance, what prevented him from giving approval for the bill? Does he have a power to delay or to destabilize or to frustrate an effort of an elected representative? So this is something, a pattern. I don't see RN Ravi acting alone. And in the case of rummy, the volume of the trade, it grows into several millions of rupees. And therefore it's easy for them to promote the game with persons, they can lobby not to ban.
The lobby was trying to influence your committee as well.
Some of the members suggested that we should hear them. I put my foot down saying that there is no need to hear gamblers. Rummy, they say, game of skill. Skill to what level? Online rummy is totally different from a rummy game. Initially it lures people to play, there are some return. And later it's a continuous loss. And every suicide note which has been found in every case, people have been lured to play the game. You cannot, in the name of carrying trade, commit offense. The government is interested in saving the lives of the people, and government is a guardian of the people in the larger sense. And therefore the government can only ban and not regulate. There is no lack of jurisdiction for the state. Electronics and information technology may be a central subject, but cheating is not a central subject. It's a concurrent field where every state can make a law and make certain offences a penal law. While dealing with the game of gamble, the governor himself is gambling on this issue. You can't destabilize the government. You are here to see whether everything is in order. That's all. You are not an umpire.
Hello and welcome to the News Minute. The Governor of Tamil Nadu RN Ravi has sent back the online gambling bill that was passed by the Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly. 4 months after the bill was sent for his assent, he has now sent it back to the government. The government says that they will once again reintroduce this bill, but this has triggered a lot of questions and controversy. To talk about this, I have with me former Justice of the Madras High Court, Mr. Chandru. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you.
Chandru also is someone who studied this issue as part of the government committee and recommended that there needs to be an online ban and as well as some kind of regulation for these games. Thank you so much for talking to us, sir. How do you see this move by Governor RN Ravi? 4 months after the bill was sent for his assent, he has been like...
It is not a question, it's a question of bona fide. Why I am really worried was the very same text which came as an ordinance was issued in the name of the governor. He promulgated it. That's an executive law which can be replaced by a legislative law. The text of the ordinance and the text of the bill were identical. Now, if he can give approval for the ordinance, what prevented him from giving approval for the bill? That's a question. Now, these 4 months, if he has studied the bill and get legal opinion and raise some issues, now why did he not do it during the ordinance? This is a question which always comes question. A man who signs with full knowledge, the power he exercises for an ordinance and the power he exercises for an assent under Article 200 is identical. Now, the bona fide comes in because that you approved A text. When it comes as a B text, you say no. Therefore, there is something more than the lip and the cup. There is something beyond that. That's what. Online rummy ban bill was one of the many bills which are sent for his assent. Now, the statistics shows there are 20 bills are with him for not giving assent. And in respect of the need bill, the state government has filed a suit in the Supreme Court under Article 131. Now, in fact, Telangana government has also filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court against Tamilisai Soundarajan. Therefore, there seems to be a pattern, whether it is Tamilisai in Telangana, Prohit in Punjab, or Arif Mohammad Khan Kerala, or Ravi in Tamil Nadu. There are 3 areas where they are trying to act in unison. One, trying to delay the bill, which has been approved by the House. So, what is the role of a governor in giving assent? This is one question. Second, the university bills, where he happened to be chancellor in some of the universities, not in all the universities. In fact, the modern trend, some of the law universities, it is the Chief Justice and Chief Justice of India were the chancellor. Therefore, there is nothing like, always it is like that. It's not like that. So, there is one area where they say it's outside the purview of a role of a governor, therefore they have some extra powers. Then third, freely speaking, the politics of BJP everywhere, or politics of RSS everywhere, freely speaking. Previously, the governors used to be having some formal appearances in some formal ceremonial appearances. Now they seem to be acting as a political. Some other politicians, Tamil Nadu, condemned them that they are acting like BJP politicians. So this is something, a pattern. I don't see RN Ravi acting alone. And in the case of rummy, there seems to be more than that, because 4 months delay, giving assent to the, giving approval to the ordinance, and now coming with a whole lot of objections. In between that, he has met some of the online rummy company representatives in the Rajbhavan.
Yeah, we broke the
which
story.
looks very improper, because he may consult even the Attorney General of India. Nobody stops him. But not online companies, because these companies were heard by the government. In fact, when we gave a report to the government, the online companies sent a representation that we want to be heard. We said nothing to be heard. We don't hear the offenders. That's what our stand. But the government didn't want to take the same stand. So they gave a public notice for receiving public opinion. It is not as if governments are acting in immaturity or on the spur of the moment. It's not like that. They have enough legal advice. This is virtually a strong legal department. In fact, the law secretary of the government was also part of the committee. So this looks as if beyond this there is something more than that.
Okay, you are hinting there is something, that's there behind the screens. But my, what I want to know from you is, on what basis did your committee come to a conclusion that online rummy should be banned and online games should be regulated?
See, our committee was not a one-man show.
Yeah.
It had 4 experts. Technology expert from IIT, a psychiatrist who has some psychiatric problem, then a public law and order problem, a police officer, and then there is also the government law secretary. So we divided the subject to ourselves. The subject seems to be, each one will come with their perspective on the issue itself. Before us, there were 3 judgments of the Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu court, where under the gaming law, you can't make this law. And rummy is a game of skill. These are 2 issues. In fact, Tamil Nadu judgment, Chief Justice Sandeep Banerjee, he has said nothing prevented the government from coming with a better legislation. We did not want to go into the colonial law, where the game, suppose you say rummy is a skill.
Game of skill.
Supreme Court has said that. That is a game where you play with somebody. You don't play with a machine, with a software designed by somebody else, and then you do not know when you will win, when you will lose. Here the cards are open. You can play the game and you can still win or lose. But not with a game where there are, like our Mahabharata, where Shaguni is behind, who knows how to manipulate. Now there are companies which have an algorithm where they induce people, initially you may win, but then you lose. But then where is the money? There are so many sister companies which are brought in through the technology, where they advise you, easy loan, easy terms. Then they start playing. It is not enough to regulate. Regulation means nothing, because they can still play and lose. Considering the number of deaths, we have accounted 22 deaths in Tamil Nadu. Now it has gone to 33.
44 is what?
It's increased now. Therefore, the government is interested in saving the lives of the people, and government is a guardian of the people in the larger sense. And therefore, the government can only ban and not regulate. Regulation means perpetual. Game is being permitted. And therefore, we have also said, ultimately, this may be a game played in other states also. So it's better that the government also asks for a central law. But there is no lack of jurisdiction for the state. That we have said in our report.
Okay. But when you said that, the player is being trapped while he is playing rummy, the algorithm plays a larger role in popping up, popping up apps that provide instant loan and all that. Like, is there something that you have during your study? This is something that you found that most of the cases, this is something
Yes,
that has
we have
happened?
also gone into how in America this has been dealt with. There are a number of studies on that. They have refused to show their software for any independent inquiry. Number one. Number two, the experience shared with the people who have lost heavily. The experience was initially it lures people to play. There are some return, and later it's a continuous loss. Therefore, we could presume that the algorithm is such a way it's only to take money from the players, and then with the company can fatten itself, and that's something Supreme Court never considered these issues, and the High Court never considered the issues. They only consider rummy, the rummy as a game, but rummy with a machine they never consider. Therefore, we have said online rummy is totally different from a rummy game. Like we have seen
A physical
in horse
rummy
racing.
game.
Horse racing. Tamil Nadu Assembly has banned it during Kalaignar period. Supreme Court struck it down by saying it's a skill. Now later we found there are everywhere there are inter-venue betting, turf games in every street. People are playing. That was banned by under the gambling law, and all the turf shops have been closed. Therefore, there's a world of difference between a game and a game which has been invented to make money through some other arrangement. So we have made a distinction. Secondly, there is nothing like a central subject. Electronics and information technology may be a central subject, but cheating is not a central subject. It's a concurrent field where every state can make a law and make certain offences a penal law. Therefore, there are several state legislations declaring a particular issue, like for example, harassing women in public place. Only Tamil Nadu has got a law. It can make a law. So, but after our report, the government also heard the public and the stakeholders and they brought the legislation. And why should the governor act like an umpire? Anyhow, it will be challenged. And it will be challenged in the High Court and Supreme Court. Ultimate say is in the Supreme Court. Whether Article 13, whether it violates a fundamental right. Now, what is the fundamental right the governor is talking? He talks about right to carry on trade. Little realizing there is a reasonable restriction under 19.2. One of the reasonable restriction is the right to commit an offence is a reasonable restriction. Therefore, you cannot, in the name of carrying trade, commit offence.
So, coming back to the bill, you said that the governor had enough time, like 4 months he had. And you also said that the governor gave an assent to the ordinance and the same copy of is being in the form
verbatim
of...
same, no comma,
verbatim,
changed.
Nothing has been changed. So, like you have been hinting that there is something more to it. So, what exactly is that you're trying
One
to
thing is that the volume of the trade, it grows into several millions of rupees. And therefore, it's easy for them to promote the game with persons. They can lobby not to ban because they need a patronage by the government. If they ban, then they lose the money. So they can always share their profit with I will even say they may even give money to the political parties also, not to ban. So the keen interest which they have shown, even during our committee, and some of the members, they were trying to attempt to reach out, which we stopped. It looks as if they have greater stake in this game, and therefore they will go to any extent to keep the game not prohibited.
Okay. You mean to say that the online gambling, that the lobby was trying to influence your committee as well? They were trying to reach out?
In fact, they brought to the extent some of the members suggested that we should hear them. I put my foot down saying that there is no need to hear gamblers. We have our own studies, we will recommend. Ultimately, the Assembly need not hear anybody to make a law. Assembly is a sovereign
Body.
institution. It has the power to make a law. There is nothing like a natural justice. The natural justice is what the court will provide later, whether this has been taken into account or not. Then they will justify it. Even governor raises some issues, but then after the issues have been clarified, the law secretary is there, home secretary is there, the concerned ministers are there. You could have got clarification anywhere you want. You could have asked the Advocate General to come and explain, or even get an opinion from the Attorney General. Where is the opinion? He does not even say. Last time, in fact, when Prohit said, even to convene the Assembly, I am asking legal aid, legal advice. Supreme Court very firmly told him that you don't need any advice, go by minister's advice. right from 1974, in Shamshar Singh case, till the Perari Walan case, the governors have been told what they should do. But then they are trying to defy the dictum of the Supreme Court. In Perari Walan case, the very same man was told that, are you a postman? Then sending it to the president. First he delayed it. And then when there is a notice came, he sent it to the president. Now this looks like, then Supreme Court said, we ourselves will pass orders. We won't give you the trouble of passing the order. Even the president was given a time limit in the earlier round of litigation. They fixed a time limit. Therefore, it leads to a situation. What is the role of a governor under Article 161 and 163? Does he have a power to delay or to destabilize or to frustrate an effort of an elected representative? In these questions, two questions will come. Telangana has already gone. Tamil Nadu has already gone to Supreme Court. They may decide something. Ultimately, on the political sphere, people say, is there any relevance for the institution of governor itself? Should he not abolish? In fact, I heard one of the DMK member in the parliament has introduced a private bill for bringing impeachment of a governor by the house. Now, this discussion came in the Constituent Assembly. Dr. Ambedkar said, nobody will come to the post of governor. Why you are troubled? The idea was, a governor acts till the pleasure of the president. Anytime he can be removed by a telegram. But what happens is, after 1967, when Congress lost 8 states, governor is now used as an institution to destabilize the opposition government. And now the BJP is perfecting that art. Previously, it was only a stray incident. Now it has become a regular pattern.
It's organized. Now
organized. Organized by the Home Ministry and Home Minister. That the governors are sent, though under our pleasure, but they will act as per our pleasure. And they are acting as per their pleasure. And we are seeing the pattern here. Unlike in Tamil Nadu, in Kerala, there are demonstrations in every district. Wherever the governor goes, there are demonstrations now.
Okay, my last question to you, sir. Do you think that the online gambling lobby could have pressurized, or they may have tried to influence several people to stop this bill from becoming a law?
See, for that matter, even, for example, horse race abolition. It was a big lobby when Kalaignar passed the bill. In fact, there is a statue near Gemini overbridge that this is a day when Tamil Nadu was abolished. But Supreme Court said, no, it's a game of skill. Rummy, they say, game of skill. Skill to what level? You may not abolish it under the gaming law. You may not abolish a card playing club from having a rummy game. But you may abolish when it is no longer a game. It's only a machine by which you try to cover people, lure people, attract people, and who are poor people who make money. They don't have their own money. They borrow and play the game. And every suicide note which has been found in every case, people have been lured to play the game, not to stop. In fact, somebody even suggested during our committee, why not we fix age limit? Then who will fix the age limit? You put a certificate for a film for an adult. Every other person is seeing that film. See, regulation is something where you delegate the power to somebody else. A ban is something drastic. So in the larger interest, you can be banned. There's nothing wrong. And
the governors act to try and create a hurdle to this when there are suicides that are happening, when there are cases that are being reported, people losing money.
No, it looks like as if while dealing with a game of gamble, the governor himself is gambling on this issue, on a political gamble, which is very sorry state of affairs, because this is an elected government which has got 2 more years to go, 3 more years to go. You can't destabilize the government. You are here to see whether everything is in order, that's all. You are not an umpire. You are a head of state, not an umpire.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you.